Let me just say, if you don't like gore, you're not going to want to watch this video. Like, at all. Just want to warn you guys that if you're squeamish at all, that this will not be a video that you'll enjoy. With that out of the way, let's talk about Machine Girl. Machine Girl, fully titled The Machine Girl, is such an over-the-top and silly trip that regardless of how cheesy everything is, I found myself enjoying it immensely, and I guess the cheese helped out quite a bit as well. It's basically anime come to life, like most Tokyo Shock films are, and it's exactly what you would expect from a movie about a girl with a machine gun arm. Machine Girl is the story of a schoolgirl's quest to get revenge on the Yakuza who killed her brother. What follows is a plot consisting of plenty of interconnected scenes of violence and a flat progression of plot. Basically, while there is the goal of retribution, the story is mainly there to allow extreme scenes of gore. However, I would be lying if I said the film didn't try to have moments of emotions or actual drama, since it does, especially in the first third. It's just clear that the film is prioritizing violence and action over actual development most of the time. This isn't a bad thing though, since watching our heroine Ami rampage her way through Yakuza thugs is great. The cast of Machine Girl were all hamming it up to the extreme, with all the characters being over-the-top caricatures of real people. Thankfully, each of the characters is wonderfully unique in appearance and attitude. Everyone had such a distinct style, and it was nice that the blood wasn't the only colorful thing on screen. Ami is an entertainingly twisted heroine who, once mentally broken, decides to enact her vengeance and leave no one left standing. She isn't alone on her story though, as the mother of Ami's brother's friend joins in on the slaughter of ninja Yakuza. The Yakuza head's wife just played every scene perfectly, being a sadistic villain that was honestly more fun than the main villain himself. I also like the family of one of the punks who turned out to be evil. Their instant snapping to evil at Ami was so dumb and funny, it was just great. I watched the film dubbed because honestly, while I do love watching the movie in the original sub and language, here it just felt so right to see the actors do their best to sync up their comedically goofy performances to the actual actors' lips. Plus, the dub gave way to some amazingly horrible line reads that got a really good chuckle out of me. The reason you're all here though is for the violence and shock gore, and the film definitely does deliver for the most part. Every other scene is something horrible happening to our heroes or villains. Whether it be dismemberment, disemboweling, or just straight up torture, Machine Girl has you covered just like the film's characters are in blood. The action overall is extremely silly, but I wouldn't have it any other way. The movie screamed low budget, but that just increased the charm and overall feel of the film. The fight scenes were fun to watch, especially when everything ramped up for the finale shrine action scene. The gore and blood spewing everywhere was extremely exaggerated, and I loved every minute of it. There were literal gallons of blood being sprayed everywhere, and not a single death felt underwhelming. The payoff with calmer things in the previous scene is paid off in full when it comes to the crimson being spilled. The special effects were charmingly cheap. The CGI was just plain terrible, but that's to be expected, and it didn't drag the film down. Instead, the bad CG enhanced the campy and goofy feel. I am still surprised this came out in the later thousands, 2008 to be exact, as it feels more like a movie that would have come out in 2003 or so. The practical stuff, while still a bit silly and clearly fake, was infectious with just how much it made me smile. There was a lot of gross out gore gags, but they were done in just the right way that it didn't feel like some of the shock gore comedies that we have gotten here over in the West. My favorite deaths in the film were the practical gore ones because of just how creative some of them got. There's plenty of variety and none of it felt stale. It also paired well with the creative action since the scenes all felt super energetic. The music fit, but that's about all I can say. Nothing was memorable, but the sad tracks were sad and the songs that went along with the action scenes definitely pumped you up. Most of it had a sort of techno-like vibe, which really fit the final scene in the movie. You'll see why when you watch it. With all that said, if you like Tokyo shock gore flicks and want a combination of Kill Bill meets Evil Dead 2 that is far more graphic than either of those films, then this is the film for you. Seeing a girl get a minigun and chainsaw replacement for her arm will never get old, and there is definitely some rewatch value with the film due to how short it feels, even though it's an hour and a half. Machine Girl is a dumb, loud, excessive action splatter movie, and I wouldn't have it any other way. If you don't like gore, ultraviolence, or revenge films, however, this is not the movie for you. But for everyone else, do yourself a favor and give this a watch immediately. As always, if you want to help support the channel, please consider sharing the video with a friend or checking out my Patreon linked in the description below. If you have any comments, questions, or recommendations, leave them down below as I read and reply to everything. Until next time, this is Thierry Williamson signing off until the next video. See ya guys!